Thank you.
Thank you so much about that, and we wish Baba well. It's Baba, you know. So let's hope for the best for Baba, and if he clinch it, we will celebrate as a people, as a people of Luo Nation. One, secondly, as a people of Kenya, because Kenya will win. So another thing that was also I've trended this week is the hostility that the His Excellency President William Ruto has met, especially in his Mount Kenya tour. What what could be the problem? Because like when you look at President William Ruto before he became president, going to Mount Kenya was he was going there and he was being the reception was like that one of a king. You know, I would recall those moments when I would see the president would be by roadside talking to the hustlers, eating those chapatis, buying those tea kwa wale watu wa chini. And for some good, just say bad reasons, I've seen like the reception is very hostile. This heckling that has been continuous. Either the leaders that he is with during those development tour, they call them so, or the population of the people, the crowd, I might say, is way much less than what is expected. What could be the problem, or what could be the issue, Mr. Miguda?
Uh, I think by the time Dr. William Ruto was campaigning in Mount Kenya, he was playing more of victim politics.
Hmm.
He was appealing to them to sympathize with him that the government of the day was on his neck. And, you know, gave them many promises because William Ruto camped in Mount Kenya during the previous election. That's where he visited most of his political tours. He was in Mount Kenya. So he was appealing to them to sympathize with him, and he gave them many, many unfulfilled promises. So people of Mount Kenya realized that indeed Uhuru was telling them the truth about Ruto. And again, people of Mount Kenya being hardworking people and business people, they are also feeling impact directly. That unlike previous time of Uhuru Kenyatta, things like high taxation, high cost of living are affecting them directly. They are feeling it. You know, people of Luo Nyanza are used to hardship. So it doesn't matter well, because they have been there. So people from Kenya are feeling that even in terms of look at in terms of appointment in the parastatals, the mountain are being left out. So people are feeling that they have the numbers and they put this guy into this position, then this guy is not delivering to them. So they are rebelling against him. And in fact, they are seeing that they have options because they believe that they have the number. If they can deny Rutoman Kenyan votes and
Hmm.
give it to their own son or
Hmm.
their own person or the person of their preferred choice,
Hmm.
they have that opportunity to enjoy because they believe that they can make presidents. They have made many presidents, and in fact, they made Ruto president. So the same way they made Ruto president, they can still make any other Kenyan president, and they have option. They are not short out of leaders.
Hmm.
So I think the rebels of William Ruto is facing on Kenya is basically has been brought by himself. Uh, Lies, unfulfilled promises, empty promises, and now people of Mount Kenya have been persuaded that indeed we were con. So I think it is coming that out of the conning that Ruto con Mount Kenya. Yeah.
Makobura, what would be the reason why the president is having hostile crowds whenever he goes, either by the leaders the leaders that are accompanying him to those projects, or like people are not attending those meetings.
Okay. Uh, His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, he entered into this seat of presidency when life had started becoming tough. The economy had been affected by corona and also the climate. So the things were not that cheap. There were so many problems that the country was going through. There was high prices of things, and people are not really feeling it well. But again, when the president was campaigning, I think he overpromised. And then he used the language that people felt that, remember the majority of Kenyans are hustlers, that's the fact. Majority of Kenyans are poor, that's the fact. So when Ruto was campaigning, he used this language that majority of people felt that this was their person. This is someone who was understanding the painful things that they were going through.
Mhm.
And Ruto used the opportunity to convince the people and to tell the people that when I get there, I'm going to lower the prices of food. I'm going to make opportunities for the youth to get employment. That he was going to fight for the mama burger, for the people who are piki piki, boda boda. But when Ruto got into office, that was the expectation of the people, and especially the people of Mountain, because that is the language that the people of Mountain understood. Remember, there are people who do a lot of business. So Ruto overpromised these people, the people of Mount Kenya. People expected that when he got there, he was going to lower the prices of things, and Ruto confirmed in all his campaigns, nikiingia hapo, nikieka kalamu chini, kila kitu itakuwa imerudi. Contrary to their expectations, the people are seeing, instead of prices of fuel lowering down, the prices of food they are increasing. Instead of the
Mm.
prices of petrol products decreasing, they're increasing. Instead of His Excellency William Ruto expanding the economy and ensuring that people are going to get jobs, companies are leaving Kenya because of high taxation, because they feel that the government doesn't have interest in this. So this is what the people at the ground are feeling, and they're seeing and they're saying that their expectations have not been met. So all that they can do to let the president understand that they are not with him is to echo whenever the president is around, is to tell him in face that you promised us, you've not delivered. So there's nothing wrong with that. He was a balance with the people of Mount Kenya. But then along the way, he has not proved and he has not shown that he's a leader that the people expected.
So let me ask you: do you think the government or the people in the administration understands what is happening? Because I tend to believe this. If I've gone in an area, because let's look at from Meru, when he went to Meru to launch the affordable housing, the same thing happened, you know. And r- just, I think is it this week? Yeah, the week that is ending, he was in Kiambu. Something happened. The same thing in Nyeri too. Something like that happened. As a leader, if you see this kind of like heckling and hostile reception continuously, is that's a communication like he's telling you that something is not right? Then are they not seeing it, or it is, or what is happening?
I think they're seeing it. It's not that they're not seeing, but I think you've been around for quite some time. Ruto is this guy, the president is this guy who, like, he makes his decisions when he want to make. Is this guy who, even if you come and shout to him, if he doesn't want to change, he'll never change. This is someone who has, there's something that is targeting. Until he gets whatever he's targeting, you can never stop William Samoei Ruto from achieving what he wants to achieve.
Mhm.
Whether you come heckling or doing what, he will not listen to you. He's that kind of a person. So he sees these things, but I think he has his target. He has a target of ensuring that he ensure that he build the houses, for example, affordable
Mhm.
houses. But then someone would then ask, what's the need of Mr. President giving more of his energy on the affordable housing? The people of Kenya, they're not saying affordable housing is the wrong thing. It is good. It is actually going to paint the country and ensure that we have good houses in the republic. But why would you build a house for someone who is sleeping hungry? Why would you build a house for someone who cannot even afford a meal, a basic meal, basic requirements that someone needs in life? So I think the ideas are good, but they are misplaced. The level of priority, in when we were doing business, when we were studying business, even if we want to do a business, you look at something that is going to bring you more profit. That is what you focus on so
Mm.
much. So the priority, William Samoei Ruto hasn't really gone for the priority, the things that the people of Kenya needs so fast.
Mhm. Miguda, when it comes to affordable housing, and these are some of the things actually that is I might be wrong, but such like affordable housing, these are some of the things that would make deputy president to get hostile reception. And if you're keen enough, you've listened to Githunguri MP wa Mushomba. Actually, find time and listen to that lady. That Honorable Wamushomba is speaking sense, and I think like Mount Kenya people should listen to Wamushomba. I think he's speaking sense, because why is it that this is the only project that president want to do, the affordable housing?
What
It's
are his interests
what
in
are the
it?
interest me good at what? Because like even after the court made pronouncement, they had to go. They say they had like to do a public participation whereby a few people were, not everybody was asked, you know, to attend those public, and now this in the bill is in the parliament. They debated it the other day. What is it is in the housing, affordable housing, that the president just insists we have to?
Uh, this is how I'm viewing it in my own angle. But I would like to disagree with Kevin, your
Mm.
cause, that Mr. Ruto, no one is afraid of Mr. Ruto, and never ever overrate him. Don't overrate Ruto. At Ruto, I want to do something, he will
It's
do
the
whether you like
president.
it or you don't like it. Don't overrate
Gi-
him. He's
don't
the
say the
president, but he's
president.
operating under the law, the rule of
Yeah.
law. He's not above the law. The fact that he's the president of the Republic of Kenya. And there are some issues. Maybe you don't understand them. People are saying tutakata miti. Zakayo kata kushuka, tutakata miti. If you want to look at the meaning of kata miti, it's more of a revolution. People can decide that we are chasing him out of the state house. So, as that one aside, the issue of affordable housing, in my opinion, I think it is not a bad thing, but the bad thing of it is the process, how is implementing it. The court pronounced itself that if you want to build affordable housing, government has built them before. Even there are some affordable houses that were there before Uhuru came to power. So it doesn't mean that you have to you have to tax the civil servant for you to build this affordable housing. So the interest of Ruto is on the taxation here, is taxing the civil servants to provide for the construction of affordable houses. So the interest, you want to have the interest in this taxation. So here is where the court has stopped him. And we, the people, also are stopping him. That's why people are rebelling when he went to Muranga, those people are stopping him. And that is the democracy. And that's what we call the democracy. People are opposing whatever they feel that is in contrary to the provisions in the rule of law. Again, the Githunguru MP you are quoting, I think the Githunguru MP is shifting the paradigm in the Mount Kenyan politics. He's trying to be a realistic leader. He tried to see it the way it is and said it the way it should be said. And William Ruto should not force us or the civil servant to cater for the affordable housing. If you want to build affordable housing, let him build taxpayers' money. Let him not deduct that money, because these affordable houses, right now, all of us have come from the house. We have houses. The impressive issue here is the high cost of living. If you can reduce the high cost of living by increasing labor to the people of Kenya and reducing taxation, it can create revenue. So maybe with him, you are saying that maybe serving advisors and they're not seeing this thing, they're seeing it. But no, they also want to gain political mileage. That when they come campaign 2027, they will say, okay, in the last 4 years, we built affordable housing. So if you had another term, we'll do this. So I think it's just a matter of political mileage. Because as a politician, you don't need to listen to your advisors all the time. At times, you need also to gain political mileage because people will ask you 2027, what have you done for the last 4 years? At least Uhuru could tell us that there is Nairobi Expressway. People want to see things with their eyes. Umefanya nini? So they want Ruto want to answer to be answerable to them with this affordable housing. I think that's a political mileage. Yeah.
Okay. This affordable housing issue, it has been with us here for so long, and we've talked about it. But there are a few things that, to me, I would ask: how affordable are they? Because if you can remember, when President visited Nakuru one day to visit those affordable housing, those houses were being bought at the market price. How can you buy a house that you've already paid? That is a question that most of you should answer. And another thing also, I saw young men were protesting that they want to live like people in leafy suburbs. It's okay, but you have to have internalize. Don't go with politics. Yeah, have a sense of, start asking yourself about, if these houses are called affordable and yet we are still buying them at the market price, how affordable are they? Then another thing that I'm also, I would want to know. I would also want to know the process of acquiring land. How do you acquire those land where you are building at? That is one. And if it is affordable, when I pay it, who is going, the certificate, is it going to be under my name? Because you are buying it, you are paying, it's like a mortgage you're paying. So if you're paying the mortgage, you can pay the mortgage, but at the end of the mortgage, you should get a certificate to show that the property belongs to you. You get the ownership. So if you are given these houses, is the ownership going to be transferred from the government to you, or to where? That is one. When you look at the houses, especially that has been built by the government, there's what we call maintenance. Building a house is easy. There's what we call maintenance. Just in case, if we have things like sewage blockage, maybe somebody staying in seventh or third floor, he has a blockage, which is affecting the entire apartment. Who is going to to cater for the repairs and everything? And you can bear me witness, you've seen some of the government houses, how when they are given to government staffs, they are given in good condition. But within a period of sometimes, you see they are conditioned because they're not given a good maintenance. So those are the kind of the things that we should work. The affordable housing is a very good idea. It has worked in so many countries overseas. And what usually happens with affordable housing is that the government will always build those houses from taxpayers' money. And what happens is that they will always rent it out to you at a very at affordable cost. Maybe you can get 2 bedroom. When you go to 2 bedroom in some areas, you can pay, I'm not saying that is, you can pay 15,000, but because these are government houses, instead of paying 15, you can end up paying between 3 to 4,000 that you can afford as a civil servant or any other, because this is government. So those are some of the questions that we should be asking anyway. So
We have so many questions as well.
mhm.
We would also ask at the same time, they're selling these houses at the market price. Initially, the president promised that these houses were being built uh, targeting the mama mboga, the boda boda. Then you ask yourself, the market price of, let's say, a one-bedroom house currently is not less than 3 million. It's between 3, 4, 5 million. How would a mama mboga, mtu wa pikipiki, mtu wa mjengo, how will they afford this? So the president, I think, the intention of building this whole housing thing, it wasn't really meant for the poor.
Uh-huh.
This thing was meant for the rich. But the
Yeah.
president doesn't want to tell to the people. Again, we will also ask ourselves, if, for example, they've sold one bedroom house at, let's say, 5 million, where will they take this money? Are they going to use this money to build other houses, or the government is going to use this 5 million to do other things? They, there are so many questions that we are asking as the people of Kenya. It is the role of government to explain to the people of Kenya, because if at least we as youth we've got the access of internet, the access of information, we are always in social media, but we still don't have this crucial information about what the government is doing. What about that a typical youth who is still in the village? What about that a typical grandmother or an old person, let's say in 40s, 50s, who are not too much in social media and internet? Where are
Mhm.
they going to get the information about this housing levy? It is the role of government to come out and tell the people clearly that this is the intention and this is what we are doing.
Miguda, do you have something to say before I make some comments here?
I would just like to briefly comment on the questions you have asked. You
Mhm.
know, the questions you have asked are the very, very questions which were put before the court. If you read that judgment, and the court also analyzed them analytically, and there were some concerns areas which have not been put on well by the people who are proposing it. That's why the judgment was, the decision was made contrary to the Ruto wish. So I think the questions were raised in the court, and the court also underlined those concerns. Yeah.
Okay, this is a summary. We are not winding up, but this is a summary that I think, the reason why maybe president has been getting hostile reception in some of the areas he's visiting. One, to me, I would classify them maybe four. I can give 4 to 5 or 6 reasons. One of them is unfulfilled campaign promises. That is one of them, because remember when the president was campaigning, there's so many promises to Metenga. And the reality of those to Metenga, people are not feeling those effects. That is one. There's also economic hardship. Kenya is facing economic challenges, including high unemployment and rising cost of living, which has affected many citizens' livelihood, even if you go to villages. Yeah. So when people are having economic hardship, and you bring all these taxes that coming each and every, people do not have that hope. Yeah. Another thing that might have corruption allegation. Ruto and his administration have faced allegation of corruption, which has eroded public trust in his leadership. When that public trust is gone, people now do not treat you as a president. Yeah, when people do not have, because if you would see the president, then deputy president, when he went to Mount Kenya, I would tell you the crowd that was there, and like, you know everybody, you'd see how he was loved so much, and until he was said that he's the kingpin of central Kenya. But right now, what we are seeing is not reflecting what we used to see when he was campaigning. Then we have political polarization. Um, Kenya political landscape is highly polarized, with some regions and communities feeling marginalized or excluded from the power that is there. That one also can cause, especially people to have hostile. But now, when you look at central Kenya right now, we have that fight within Jubilee. You know, so when those who feel like they're part of Jubilee and this party is going because maybe the president has hand in it, because like people like Kanini Kega, who the allied of Uhuru Kenyatta, are in another part of the world with Sabina Chege. They have another Jubilee that they feel like they're the bona fide member of Jubilee, and we have Honorable Murathe, and Jeremiah Kioni, also saying that. So with that also can bring that hostility to the president where it is touring, because there are people who would feel we are not going to be part of. And remember also is meeting some of the region leaders whereby they want supremacy. People might hire the youths to come and heckle another leader. So that will also plays part in his administration. Another thing that I would say, the disagreement over policy, Ruto policies such as approach to maybe agriculture and land reform have been met with resistance from some quarters. Yeah, you see, like the taxes that sometimes are being proposed even in the animals and what, when you go to Mount Kenya, they are the most, actually when it comes to business people, they are the most people with business. When it comes to corporate corporate in Kenyan economy, the people who controls the corporate world in Kenya are mostly our brothers and sisters from central Kenya. So when when the policies, these policies that maybe the president is making is affecting their business negatively, so that one also must be there. Another thing that I would say is perceptions of authoritarianism. Like people feel that president is authoritarian, you know. Some critics accuse him of Ruto undermining democratic institution and processes, leading to fears of the authority, you know, like you're now authoritarian. Look, for example, the ruling that was made about the house levy. He still insisted that okay, this one has to do, is not respecting the law. uh, Remember what he said about the sword when people like Ukia Mutata were going to courts, you know, all those. So all that is also creating perception. Some quarters feel like is so much, or is offering that authoritarian kind of like whereby your views do not matter, because like president like seems to be to know everything, you know, is like this and this and this. So the, I think those one are what I might think might cause uh, uh, those hostile what reception during S2I in central Kenya. And this will always be seen in various parts of the country that he will be going, because like all those cut across the board, high cost of living is not selective. You know, it's if it is in central Kenya, is in Nyanza, it is in coast, is in Nairobi, is in everywhere. So I think it is high time, like the government of the day should start listening to people, you know, listening to the citizen, you know, and say like, how can we make life better, you know, rather than you know, saying that it is either it is our way, you know, like we are talking about the e-citizen, you know, what can you say about that?
The East citizen, to me, I think it isn't a good thinking, or it isn't a good thing to do. Remember, a government coming up with just one pay bill that it wants the people to channel all their money whenever they need government services in a specific pay bill, it isn't a good thing. Let's say, for example, when paying school fees, when people parents are paying school fees, they have to go to different banks. Remember, banks, whenever banks grow, the economy also grows.
Mhm.
If now you tell the people that they should now not go to bank, let's use this specific pay bill. It's like the bank will also not get the profit that they need, so that
Mhm.
they ensure that they have to employ more people. It's like you're breaking. There's a way you're trying to make the banks not function in a way, because the from the money that the parents pay, that is where they also get the profit to run the businesses and also to employ others. If now you tell them you're using a specific pay bill, it is going to be tough. What if these pay bills also start having problems?
Mhm.
Because anything can happen.
Yeah,
Where will the
technology.
people start? Where will the people start following? Where will they get? Is there any assurance that these things are going to work? What if the systems are hacked? I think it is better or good to have different people providing different services. That way, they will be a good opportunity for people to make their own decisions depending on where they feel they're going to be served good Well,
Mm.
it is not right for a government to start monopolizing specific government projects or things to do with money payment to a specific pay bill. It is so wrong for them. There should be a diversity. They should give people room, businessmen room, so that they can also do business. Remember, just paying school fees or government services, it is really running the economy of Kenya. If I'm a parent, for example, I want to go and pay a school fee, of course, I will have to use maybe a boda boda or a what. Whenever we do this, actually during fee payments, that is when the people in transport sector, that is when they make some money that can help them. Remember,
Mm.
there is high cost of fuel. Whenever they have this many people at a specific time, at times, sometimes you'd say they got some profit. What if now you're denying them this? How are they going to survive? It's like you are crippling some sector, transport sector, finance sector. It isn't a good thing. I think the government should try to review such things, and if they want to make such kind of decisions, they should involve the people who are running this kind of sector so that they also listen to them, so that they ensure that there's harmony and people does things the right way.
Okay. Miguda, what do you say?
I think that in a constitutional democracy state,
Mm-hmm.
good governance require public participation, and
Mm-hmm.
there's some implementation that government want to do without public participation. If at all whatever is going on the issue of the e-citizen, there could be public participation, it could have been stopped. Because there in in our society setup, the Kenyan system, you
Mm-hmm.
find that we don't operate in urban centers. There are those who are in the rural areas, remote areas. For instance, there are those areas where there is no even M-Pesa shops. Parents do not have even phones. Parents who have never even have access to the use of payment through M-Pesa. The people who do not know how to use even pay bill. The majority of the people who do not know are not enlightened on that field. Again, I remember when we were in high school, there are those students who are going through the school at the expense of their parents. Maybe some of their parents are staff like watchmen, they are cooks. They do not pay school fees. They are just being given that mercy because the fact that their parents are working the school to study. And also there are those people who use their farm products, maybe maize, mboga. They can they can supply the school with those farm products, and the children got opportunity to go to school. So how will these people get the opportunity for the student to study? That's why if they could have do a thorough public participation, not only in urban centers across the country, they could have reversed the idea. The idea is good, not that we oppose everything, but at times you should look at the society setup of your system. So I don't think even the issue of people moving from rural to urban centers so that they can manage the payment, because you can't do that payment if you don't have some gadgets, you see. So it's more of creating some confusion. And majority of the people are in the village, by the way. Even if you majority of the voters are in the village, majority of the people who are running the economy are in the village. So if you want to introduce certain things, you need to do a thorough public participation. That's why I've said still implementation of 2010 Constitution, Article 10, national values and principle of good governance. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
again,
Oh, okay.
before we close on that, allow me to say this. Remember, the government has a tendency of holding funds for quite some time, and then
Mm-hmm.
at times they come out giving excuses that, oh, we use the money to pay the bonds, the euro bonds. Like the other day, the county governments have not received money. When they
Mm-hmm.
asked, the president was telling them that the money was used to pay the euro bond that was maturing, blah, blah, blah. But do you really think it is right for a government to take the money that they're supposed to give the counties and then they pay the Eurobond? That is starving the county governments. Remember, county governments have got so many serious institutions they're running, the hospitals. If now you don't take money to them and you tell us that you took the money to buy to buy what? to pay for the Eurobonds. That is starving the county governments, and that is making the people at the ground not receive very important services that they need. In this Mambo na pay bill, if this government insists that they're going to be using pay bills, and the monies are going to be channeled to the pay bills, what if they take long to disperse this money to the schools so that the schools should run? Are we going to close the schools? Are the schools going to be closed? Are we going to send the children home that the government has not sent money? I think they should let the schools manage this money, because they are the people on the ground. They know when they need the money and when to use the money and when to take it wherever it is needed. The government should not try to use this opportunity to stress the teachers and the pupil and the people of Kenya.
So much, and we are coming to the end of our conversation. Maybe Makobura, your last remark, make it short.
Okay. First, I want to take this opportunity as a Kenyan to also wish Raila Amolo Odinga success when he's going for the chairmanship of the AU. Again, I want to urge one Babu Owino that it is what the people are saying. Remember, what the people say is what God also is saying or wants. So it is high time Babu Owino should come out and fight for the kingpinship of the lowland, because that is what the people from that ground or that region wants. When it comes to the national politics, I want to advise the president of the Republic of Kenya that when given opportunity to lead, it is good, it is right to always consult the people that gave you the power. Remember, you are a subject of the people. Any decision that you want to make, of course, you are the president, but at least please consult the people. Let the people know whatever you are doing. That is what leadership is all about. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.
Thank you so much. Make good.
Okay, two things. One, uh, I would like to comment on the issue of Raila exiting politics and as Babu Owino is taking the position. Why Babu Owino? Babu Owino has shifted the paradigm, unlike Raila. Raila has been complaining about his votes are being stolen. But people view Babu Owino as someone you cannot steal or touch or even imagine to steal his vote. So Luos has been looking for this guy, and this guy is in Babu Owino. So Babu Owino is going to take it. Lastly, President William Ruto, I wish you very well in your first term. We will try to work for the people of Kenya so that come 2027, you can be re-elected if possible.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you so much for taking your time to be here and give your views on things that are happening or things that are trending in terms of politics or in terms of the leadership of our country. And to me, I would just want to take this opportunity to wish the Right Honorable Prime Minister well, so that he can win that the chairmanship of AU, so that um, we can leave the political landscape of the country to be left to younger politicians. To Honorable Babu Owino, these are the views of our guests. So they're not views of the channel; those are personal views. So Babu Owino, so please listen to what the ground is saying, then give people direction. For those who will be watching or those who have been watching, kindly please subscribe and be part and parcel of Brother Benson Media. And thank you so much. And may God bless you. May God bless Kenya.